Hello and welcome to Take 10 this week. For almost 30 years, since 1992, October the 10th has been designated as World Mental Health Day. According to the World Health Organization, over 264,000 people globally suffer from depression. That is across all age groups. And according to Mental Health First Aid England, 34% of students will experience some level of depression during their time as a student. These are stark figures, and I suspect that these figures may have increased since COVID hit our world. Whilst the Bible never explicitly uses the term mental health, there are most certainly many characters in the Bible who display poor mental health conditions. King David, who wrote most of the Psalms, at one point said this: "I am bowed down and brought low. All day long I go about mourning," not moaning, mourning. "I am feeble and utterly crushed. I groan in anguish of heart." The character Jonah, who you may have heard of because he was swallowed by a very, very big fish, at one point said, "Take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live." And the great prophet Elijah, who faced down 400 false prophets, probably the highlight of his career, then proceeded to run away and said to God, "I have had enough. Take my life." These characters and others display mental anguish that brought some of them to the brink of suicide. According to the Samaritans, in 2018, just in the UK and the Republic of Ireland alone, these are not global figures, there were 7,000 deaths by suicide recorded. Now, there are simply too many reasons behind poor mental health and anxiety and depression for me to do this vital topic justice here. Everybody's story, everybody's journey is unique. But I can share with you that in my own journey, I have experienced several seasons of unbelievably debilitating depression. And there are many days that I struggle with doubt and battle with low self-image. What I've learnt along the way is that there are several things that I can do, that we can do, to care for ourselves well and to build up our own emotional resilience. Here are 6 things that I have learned through my seasons of depression. Firstly, recognize that all stress is not bad. Some good stress might be identified as that which kicks in and puts us in survival mode when we're in danger. Stress can motivate us. Secondly, we need to learn to identify the triggers in our own lives. Some stress is short-term and will go away. For example, when you have an assignment due or exam period is looming. Yet other stress is longer term and therefore more likely to become debilitating. Some stress comes from something external and we have very little control over it. And there is definitely some stress that is self-inflicted and comes through our own poor decision making. So learn to identify the triggers. Thirdly, we can grow in awareness of the effects on our own physical, emotional, and psychological health, because sometimes the symptoms of stress, like headaches, stomach pain, sleeplessness, irritability, we become aware of those things before we really identify that we are stressed and make that connection. So learn to identify those things in your own life. Learn what works well for you in terms of depressurizing activities. It might be prayer or mindfulness. Maybe it's physical exercise, dance, or singing, or simply taking the time to have coffee with a friend. 5, remind yourself often that it is okay to not be perfect. We are all still works in progress. And lastly, number 6, which should probably have been number 1, don't struggle alone. Find help, support, and talk to someone. These are ways we can care for ourselves. But I also believe that corporately, we need to work even harder to dismantle the prejudice and misunderstandings and misconceptions surrounding poor mental health. We need to talk more openly and honestly. We need to stop judging and seek to understand others, because one day that might be us. So whether you are a student at Medway, whether you're somebody else who is listening to this video, what I want to leave you with is this: do not struggle alone. Do not struggle alone. Please find someone to talk to. Thank you.